ladies and gentlemen, we've got a unranked bronze versus bronze match. This will take us back to the beginning. Do you remember the first times you played StarCraft 1v1? How did you feel about those matches? Because here we are, at the beginning and the end of all things. We draw. Is that how you pronounce that? In the upper right-hand corner, playing the bugs. Unranked. And in the bottom left-hand corner, playing the Protoss. Thryux. In the red. Alright. These casts are the best because you never know what's going to happen. We've got a spawning pool. At some time. At 14 Overlord. Zerg is just on one base for now. There's going to be a gateway here. But this pylon is too close to the wall, so you can't put another thick structure in front like a cyber core or a gateway. So it's going to be a bit of a problem. This is kind of like playing Tetris or Legos. Let's see if this probe has it. Can the probe do it? Can we seal the gate against the swarm? Probe production is going. One assimilator is complete. And a cybernetics core is being warped in an area that might be called the natural wall-off. In addition to an expansion. Looks like this is going to turn into a macro game. There's just one pair of lings being made. Single gas on the way. Getting another pylon so we don't get supply block too bad. Raul in the chat is saying it's kind of cool to see how even silver players nowadays are sometimes better than diamond player YouTube videos from 10 years ago. Yeah, a lot of the big macro ideas are pretty well understood at this point. Like taking a second base pretty fast is a good play. Back in Wings of Liberty, that wasn't obvious. And also, the maps were kind of fucked up back then, so. The games are much faster paced. They cut down on all that slow time when you have 6 workers getting up to 12. You just start with 12. So the game feels a lot more zippy. This might be called a wall-off. There's still a gap here. This is about a roach or a queen wide that could run up here. And 5 Banes would kill this pylon. So it's a bit of a dicey wall off, but not every Zerg will attack. So it's better than nothing. You could add some structures last second here. Ooh, a Stargate. Void Rays are pretty big in the meta right now, but let me tell you something about Void Rays. Void Rays have always been in the meta leagues. Bronze through Platinum. It's just a really nice unit that can shoot air and ground. It's got a decent bit of health. It's got pretty high DPS. And if you make a bunch of them in a max out, it ends up being really good. So, I would say Void Ray is a very good call. How did the rating go? It went well. We almost got the 3rd hardest boss in the game. This was our first time learning it, and the team did well. We didn't kill it, but we got it most of the way down after a few attempts. So I'm thinking we'll probably get that next Saturday, and then there will only be 2 bosses left in the game. 2 bosses left in Classic WoW, the playable classes. Thryux with the triple stalker in the wall. Void Ray production in the main base. We draw. Has got a spine crawler for defense. Got some larva here. And that's the thing with larva is its potential. These larvae could be roaches, They could be overlords. They could be drones. They could be zerglings. What do you think they should be in this situation right here? What would you spend this larva into if you were so motivated to do so? Ooh, all drones here. Nice. You would make mutus. You don't have a lair. You can't make mutus. Ultralisks. You don't have hive. You can't make ultras. You don't think it's a full wall? It's not a full wall. But if the opponent doesn't know that this is an opening, they may try to run through here, so it could work. Can you make all drones? Yeah, the person making multiple accounts, I don't think Jason is here. And I think your quest may be in vain and in error. So I would recommend evaluating circumstances around you. Nothing but drones, that's what I would do. Is this a Zerg who played no ladder games? I believe that was the Protoss who said that. The Zerg is also unranked. I just asked for someone who was bronze or silver. So this is what we got. So far, it's a very peaceful macro game. 6.5 minutes in. We don't have too much aggression. Let's see the units lost tab for this. 200. So a couple lings that try to get in the wall died, but that's about it. This is going to be a problem. This is also a problem. Protoss has a 60-ish supply lead right now. But Zerg could drone very fast. There are these gases here. Plenty of minerals saved up. Could be mass queens. These hatches are on different hotkeys, which may be a problem. You can see the layers on the 1 group and then the naturals on the 2 group. And this one is not in a group. So that really is one of the more key Zerg fundamentals, is being able to manage your larva income. Just generating more larva and then spending it right away. Hey, it's happening. Gonna be a little bit supply block though. Void Ray count is building. This is a triple Stargate. Fleet Beacon is on the way. +1 air armor is researching. +1 air attacks is already done. Queens. Spread and creep. Now it's on the 3 group. No, it's the 3rd hatch. The hatches are being operated independent of one another. These are 3 separate restaurants. Mass static defense at the 3rd base. If Zerg doesn't do something, Protoss is going to be running away with this game and maxing out. This is going to be a problem. You'll need fungals or air upgrades or something. Wait, are we watching Bronze League? That is precisely what we are watching. So what you're on about, copy pasta person who's being banned repeatedly, is a grand conspiracy that is shared by a very small number of people because there's a very small amount of evidence that that approach is actually correct. The community has basically reached a consensus of who is in the right and who is in the wrong. You may have your opinion and that may differ from the rest of us, but we're just trying to make sense of things and look out for each other. So when one of our own, if there's a streamer getting hassled or whatnot, then we're going to try to look out for that person, listen to them, and support them. That's just how it goes. Roach Hydra. Hydras are better against voids, and the upgrades here aren't bad. This is +2 attack, +1 carapace. So these Hydras are going to be looking pretty decent. Do they have speed? No, they don't have speed, but they do have ranged, which is something. 37 drones against 69 probes, 14 void rays, 5 stalkers, and an observer. Versus 16 Hydras, 7 roaches, and 3 queens. What are we thinking? Zergs appreciate the value of education. Yep. This is your university tuition fund up here. I love this. You see this. This happens in bronze and silver games specifically. You'll have an area on the map that just, it gets a little oasis of static defense. This is not a base. This is next to some rocks, but I've seen some silver and bronze Protoss put this right in the middle of the map. So they'll just like put it here. That's cool. You know? That's someone's intuition just being like, let's make a static defense oasis here. That way if there's a battle, then we can just go back to that, and that's an anchor point for better fights. Yeah, I'm with it. This is cool. We got carriers here. I mean, imagine the Zerg breaks through these rocks and they're kind of sweeping down the hill and they're trying to attack you, and you've got your sky toss, but then you just pivot over to this. You get your shields recharged right away. You get double cannon DPS. It is an island of hope. It is. And this is a nice little shape here. Is this a full wall? No, not quite, but it's nice. Look at the design here. You've got photon cannons in the front, and then pylons in the mid, and shield batteries in the back. Fourth base is coming up. Roaches and Hydras. Units lost tab. Just a couple overlords or something have died, but Protoss is maxed out. And if you're Protoss and you're maxed out, do you attack? What do? Do you attack? No. How long do you defend? Forever. Some people have been playing against Turtle Sky Toss. Oh! Both players are moving out to attack each other at the same time. Wow, the Sky Toss army moves over to the fourth base. The Hydras go back home. Carrier Void Rays coming up here, snacking with the 22 months. Thank you very much for the support. The Queens and the Hydras are going to be trying their best to DPS. The Sky Army has +2 attack, +1 armor. Hydras forming up here. The supply heavily in favor of Protoss right now. Bear in mind that a player can throw at any moment, so we're not counting out Widra yet. The Hydra's chipping away at a lot of these interceptors. Gonna fall back to the high ground. The drones are being pulled as well. Skytoss army pressing into the natural. The spores shooting as fast as possible. Gonna make a last-ditch effort to mass up a new spore wall for the Hydras to fight alongside. But the Void Rays swoop in. Hydras are gonna go run underneath this army so they can focus fire. Realizing that they died before they got in range to focus fire. GG is called. Thriax with the island static defense strategy. It's gonna take this game. That's it. That's amazing.